On my end, I've been streaming for 5 hours, 20 minutes. So by the time we finish, it'll be a 7-hour stream. I think that's one of the longest YouTube live streams or YouTube streams that I've ever done. So, hey, it is what it is, I guess. There'll be longer ones in the future. I've actually really enjoyed this. I enjoy all of it, but I don't know. Usually we do it on Zoom, or we've used a platform called AirMeet before. But I don't know. Seeing this on YouTube is kind of cool. And we've also gained 200 and something subscribers as well. So a lot of you guys who weren't subscribed before are now subscribed, and your mind will be blown because every single week we post a video, usually high production video, really cool video. And the last one we posted was the 10 core activities that every network marketer should know. And it's a really good video. It's a longer video. It's 28 minutes long. But yes, you guys are enjoying it. Love, 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 love. Okay, so action step. Now, before I talk about action step, actually, there's a couple of things really, really quickly about most people get misunderstood in network marketing. And I mentioned it before, but I just wanted to draw the diagram. So this is what most people try and do. They try and do as many hours in network marketing as fast as possible with the idea to never do anything again, right? Imagine this is hours, right? And this is time. Okay, so the idea is all right, I want to go all in as fast as I can, quit my job as fast as I can, and then retire and live on the beach. The problem is the model wasn't really actually created. The model wasn't really created like that. Let me take some water. It wasn't really created like that. Instead, it was created to be you do it little by little by little by little by little, and then eventually you get to the stage where you kind of flatline, right? You check in. Eventually, you'll just be flying around the world being the keynote speaker at all these events, right? Because you're the master upline. But just wanted to share that with you because it's important, because most people get it wrong. The second thing is, obviously, we talked about social media before. There's something that I'm seeing a lot of in network marketing. It seems to be super common now. And social media, let me just really simplify the role of social media. Remember earlier we were talking about this, right? The offline and the online, right? The offline being slow and strong, the online being fast and weak. And the idea is to be somewhere in this middle. Well, the role of social media is actually more simple than you think. It's number one, to start conversations. Because before social media, you had to start conversations with people in the street, in the supermarket, in restaurants, at the gym, or you had to do leaflet dropping, or you had to run ads. Then as soon as social media came in, it became a much easier place to start doing conversations. Now you can do conversations with people that you reach out to, or people who reach out to you. The second one is to build trust. So now you're able to build trust by becoming an authority because you have something called the power of likability. When people can see, oh my God, you get 100 likes on a Facebook page. Oh my days, you got 27 comments on an Instagram post. They straight away assume that wow, okay, this is someone I should trust, right? This is someone who I should pay attention to. Before that, you never had that. Trust was only built by stacking events to create relationship. Brené Brown, for those of you who know Brené Brown, drop a 3 in the chat. If you've ever heard of Brené Brown, she is legendary. She has this really great training on the marbles. It's an old training of hers, the marbles. So you have a marble jar, and every time that you ask someone a genuine question or you have an experience with them, you put a marble in the jar. And when the marble jar is full, then usually you can trust that person. Usually, right? Sometimes when you lose the trust, and then it hurts because you've trusted that person. Anyway, so that's the second one. The third one is then what I would call inspiring. Now, the problem is there's a fine line between who you're inspiring. Love it. So there's a very, very, very fine line. Because you've got two types of people. You obviously have conversations online with prospects. You build trust online with prospects so that you should be inspiring prospects. However, the majority of people who are going to pay really close attention to you are actually going to be your team members. So what is inspiring is when you show off your lifestyle. Closed on Mondays, going for lunch with my partner on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, taking my 70-second vacation this year, and it's only February, like whatever it might be, right? However, it actually does the opposite to the team. Some people get inspired by it, but what they really get is they get inspired to then quit, like inspired to then leave the business as fast as possible. So you use social media to start conversations with prospects. You use social media to build trust with prospects, but your goal really is to inspire your team by showing up on social media who you're helping, who you're serving, who you're working with, you at events, you growing with personal development, you sharing videos of your Zoom call and photos of inside of a book, not as much vacation. Go and look at the absolute top income earners in network marketing. They're hardly ever posting about their cars, their house, their vacations, because they can talk about that on their Zoom calls with their team. They don't need to show it online because otherwise the team is going to think this guy doesn't work, he just travels all over the time, which is inspiring, but it actually makes people quit way too early. I just had to say it because it's an important thing. All right, so here we are. I'm not saying that that's not what you want to do. It's really making a decision. Do you want a lifestyle business or do you want a leadership business? And this is where action set comes into play. Because action set is productivity. It's the last set to create the asset, which will allow you to live the jet set, but it's mindset, skill set, action set, okay? Mainly time management, managing your time or the activities within your time, and productivity. And I'm going to put these both under the same bracket because I would say that if you master time management or the management of the activities in the time, then you will be more productive. So in essence, it's the same thing, okay? So we've got to manage our time, right? And the reason for this is, how many of you guys do it? Drop a 2 in. I appreciate all the love. Drop a 2 in. Thank you very much. Tea delivery. Thank you. I might need a pee break later. Too much tea means too much pee, right? How many of you guys want to double your income? Just drop a 2 in the chat if you want to double your income. Yes, that was it. Leadership business. A lifestyle business is one that's dependent on you showing up. And your goal is to not show up as much for as maximum gain. So you want to, it's based on you. You're the driver, you're the charisma, you're the character, you're the energy. And when you're there and you're cracking the whip, everything's flying. And when you're not there, it's not really growing, but it's not dying potentially. But after a while of not being there, it will eventually die. Okay, but then you'll make a lot of money, you'll spend a lot of money traveling around and living the dream, and everyone will be like, wow, it's so inspiring. The other way is a leadership business. A leadership business is when you become a leader and you help other people become leaders, and it's built around not you, but a system, which means that you sacrifice a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years more, and you spend in 40, 50, 60 hours a week working until eventually there are 5 to 10 leaders or 5 to 10 people in your team who are more than capable of running the business for you instead of just you cracking the whip. And if you're not there, it grows. If you are there, it grows. It doesn't really matter. And then eventually you kind of retire if you want to, sort of thing. You kind of have to make a decision which one you want to do. Leadership businesses are what your company wants you to do. Leadership business is also what I want you to do. But you might be in this just to be able to work hard for a few years and then basically go live your life and travel and be on 10, 20, 30 grand a month from your business, which is great. But you're destined for so much more. And action set, what I'm going to share with you, is a big part of that. Okay? So here we are. Productivity. So you guys want to double your income. Okay? So if we want to 2x the income, we have to 2x the volume, right? Let me get your engagement with this. If you want to 2x your business, you've got to 2x your volume. So if you want to go from 10,000 to 20,000, you've got to go from 200,000 volume to 400,000 volume, give or take. I've really done some damage to this arm. It's annoying. It's such an annoying injury. All right. So to get this, we need to 2x the volume. Now, in order to 2x the born leader, that's right, Anthea, right? In order to 2x the volume, we need to 2x the number of people, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's have it there. Okay, so in order to 2x the volume, we need to 2x the income. We need to 2x the volume, which means we need to 2x the number of team. So therefore, people are focused on recruiting. Right, that's the focus, right? Recruiting and selling, let's say, right? Recruiting to build the team, selling to build the volume, right? Because technically you're only really paid when you build a team who then sell. You're not making an income by building a team. You're building an income by that team, that bigger team, selling more products because there's more people. However, let's think of it this way. What if it takes 1,000 hours of productivity to do 100, this is just example, to do 100,000 of volume, which will then equal $10,000 commission, let's just say, in a month. Let's just say, for example. So if you look at it this way, how do you double the income? Well, in order to go from 10 to 20,000, let's just say, in a month, your team needs to do 2,000 hours, which means you don't need a bigger team, you need a more productive team. This is how important this subject is. And I really hope you're paying attention to this. Drop a 7 if you are paying attention to this, because if you can master this, there won't be too much of a problem in the future. But time management, productivity, there's not that many productive people in network marketing. Why? Working from home is the biggest blessing and the biggest curse. It's the biggest blessing because you have so much flexibility. You can work in your pajamas, but it's the biggest curse because you have so much flexibility and you can work from home in your pajamas. So I'm going to go through, what have I got? 10 maybe? I'm going to go through 10 different, let's say, hacks to be able for you to be a top producer. Because again, if you can look to double the hours of the overall team, you will be able to double the commission. And it starts with doubling your own hours and then being able to teach everyone else how to do the same thing. Okay? So number 1, design your environment for focus. I'm not going to write them on the board because it'll take too long. Unfortunately, we have just over an hour left. Okay, so design your environment focus. Now, what this means is design your environment. So, anyway, sorry. What the heck is that? What have I got written down here? Anyway, design your environment focus. What that means, I don't know why that's been written like that. Have a dedicated workspace that triggers work mode. Drop a 1 if you've got a dedicated workspace and drop a 0 if you don't. And here's the only workspace that you shouldn't have. On the sofa or in bed with your phone. Now, yes, you can build the business from there, but if that's your workspace, then guess what's going to happen? The kids are going to come running along, jumping on you, playing with you, messing around with you, and you won't be able to get into the right rhythm, right? So just even if it's the kitchen table or the dining room table or a little tiny desk that has a laptop on it that's facing a wall, whatever it might be, kitchen table near the kettle, exactly. Great, but it's rubbish. I've got a little desk, right? Amazing. As long as you have one, it's super important. Okay, so number 1 is design your environment for focus. Okay. Number 2, time block your day with precision. So I like stolen moments. Stolen moments are like 15-minute Stolen moments are like 15-minute windows. Why? Because since I've had kids, I've realized that like having a 90-day block is just not possible. Like, and yes, Mia, like when we had Mia would go to bed in the afternoon nap. Mia would wake up at 8 a.m. And then she would go to bed at like midnight. She's doesn't really like sleeping, this kid, right? But she would then have a nap for like an hour and a half between like 2:30 and 4 p.m. So I knew, okay, the start of the day is going to be quite slow. I'm going to go to the gym, I've got a slow morning with Mia, then go to the gym, and then I'm going to come back and then do a little bit of work, but it's not going to be anything crazy, maybe a couple of calls. And then as soon as she goes to bed, I've got 90 minutes to like go. So it was like 90-minute block from 2:30 till 4 p.m. all the time. And then after that, we'd go for a walk. And then in the evening, like Svetlana would take care of her from 8 p.m. onwards, and I would work from 8 p.m. onwards. However, after having Ava, it's become a little bit more difficult because Ava just loves to be awake when Mia's asleep. Right? And like Mia is always awake when Ava's asleep. So like it's now like 15-minute windows where I'm going in, I'm like 15 minutes, bam, 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 and then out, 15 minutes, bam, 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 15 minutes. And it doesn't really matter if you're doing one or you're doing two 90-minute blocks or you're doing 12 15-minute blocks. As long as you get into some form of productivity with it, it's okay. So if you're thinking like you're blaming the kids or you're like, if you don't have kids, then you have no excuse. I'm just going to tell you that. Because before I had kids, like now I've got kids, I'm always thinking, what the hell was I doing with my time before I had kids? What the hell? I know what I was doing. I was working my ass off. No excuses. Now I've got kids and I understand. I'm even more blessed because I get to look my why in the eye every day. And there's not a chance a day goes by where I think I am going to show them I am so lazy. In fact, I go, I am going to show them what's possible. Every day, I'm like, just before when in the break, Ava and Mia are lying on Svetlana, right? They're a little bit tired. They've had a crazy day. And I'm like, geez, I got to go back in there and kick some ass. Because they're in there. They know that I'm in there shouting and screaming and training and all that. And they know that I'm working. When they're old enough, they will understand it. I can see my why in the eye. Okay. So number one, design your environment for focus. Number two, time block your day with precision. Understand, and you've got to use Google Calendar or something like that. It's either Google Calendar, Microsoft Calendar, Apple Calendar, digital calendar. If you are not, because here's a fact. Every single top performer and top earner, if I was to call them up and say, hey Mary, what are you doing tomorrow, Sunday, the 9th of November at 2 p.m? She'll go, I'm doing this. What about Tuesday, 11 a.m? I'm doing this. What about Wednesday, 7 p.m? Oh yeah, I'm actually free then. They know exactly when they're available and when they're not. And if they're not available, they know what they're doing in that time zone. It sounds so obvious, but you've got to use Google. So here's the framework for you. Set the time. Protect the time. And then reflect on the time. Oops. What this means is, before the week starts, know how many hours you're going to be spending. In fact, let me know in the chat, how many hours do you currently spend? Like in your calendar, how many hours have you had in your calendar this week to build your business? Oi. Wow, that tea is unreal. So how many hours have you set this week to build your business? Let's see if I can have a little quick look. Okay, I'm not going to play that game. That would be a problem. 56, 10 a day, 50, 10, 5, 10, 30, 15, I don't know exactly, 5, 40, 10, 27, 4, 15, 20, 26. Okay, here's the magic number. 15 hours a week. 15 hours a week of productive work doing the laps, let's say, will get you into personal momentum. Personal momentum after a few weeks means that you are on fire. You've done 15 hours of productive work a week and bang, you are on fire. You feel on fire. You feel, I've got momentum. I've got into a rhythm. People are saying yes. People are saying no. I've got some signups. I've got some sales. Boom, 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 boom. So the second question then is, okay, I set 15 hours. What am I saying yes? And what am I saying no to? The devil, listen to this very carefully, please. The devil is going to send an army of distraction soldiers with one goal in mind. Distract him or her. That is our only mission. So, you set 15 hours, but how many of those hours did you actually be productive? 6? That's reflecting. 6? Let's go 6 out of 15. 4? 8? Oh, well, no, because I went to an event. I went to an event on Saturday, and I was there from 9 till 5, so that was 8 hours, and I definitely did all 8. No, that doesn't count. That's not business building. That's personal development. That doesn't count. That's not business building time. That's the business recreation. That's like, oh, I go to work and then I play golf on the weekend. That golf time doesn't count. Isn't that different? It counts. Because when you work, you have to reset, right? So you escape, you do a hobby. In the business world, you do personal development. That's the reset. That's the hobby. Because here's what I got taught a long time ago by my dad. He didn't say it like this, and a lot of the things he tells me, he doesn't say it how I train it, just because my brain hears it in a different way. So he didn't have to say it a certain way. I heard it like that. And what I heard one day was he said, Fraser, this is one of the biggest bingo moments I ever had, and I've weirdly not trained it until I started talking about productivity a lot. He said, Fraser, when your occupation becomes your recreation, you will get the obsession to get the succession. When I heard that, that's how I digested it. I was blown away. When your occupation becomes your recreation, then it will create an obsession to get succession. Because we often talk about how do you become obsessed? Well, you become obsessed when your occupation becomes your recreation. Like, think about it. It's Saturday. This week, just gone, the last couple of weeks, I've been doing lots of team calls. On a Tuesday night, it was 1 o'clock in the morning because we messed up a bit of the schedule. It was 1 o'clock in the morning and I had so much adrenaline because I'd just done a team call for like 1,700 people. And I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning technically on a Wednesday morning. That's not normal. Why? Because my occupation is what I absolutely love doing it. It's created an obsession, which has allowed a level of succession. If you don't love what you're doing right now, that's your goal. Your goal is to master the inner game, and your goal is to figure out how this becomes fun. You know what's really fun? Helping people make a lot of money. Helping people wake up. Helping people grow. Helping people transform. When your occupation becomes your recreation, it creates an obsession that turns into succession. It's incredible. So, you set the time, you make sure you protect it by saying no to the things that are distractions and yes to things that build the business, like laps, for example. If you schedule it or you set it, and then you say yes to something that means you say no to the thing that you scheduled, you need to reflect on that and ask yourself, why did you do that? Why were you weak? Why were you weak? So, who's obsessed, by the way? Who's obsessed with the network marketing space? Let's see. All right, so design your environment for focus, time block your day with precision. Number 3, use the 3x3 rule. So the 3x3 rule is you identify the top 3 priorities of the week and then 3 for each day. So let's say this coming week is I want to invite 10 people. Right, let's just say 3 by 3. 3 for the week and 3 for the day. So let's say the weekly one is you want to do 10 invites. You want to do 8 presentations. And you want to do 4 follow-ups. Let's just say, right? Or it could be attend 1 event. So then the 3 a day would be, okay, I want to do 2 invites today. I want to do 1 presentation today, and I want to do 1 follow-up today. Okay? Because otherwise what happens is, if you have too many goals of the week, you get overwhelmed. And if you have too many things to do that day, you get overwhelmed. So you're rather just eliminating the noise. All right? I'm obsessed. Me. All right? Number 4, master energy management, not time management. Master the energy. Oh, this is... All right. How many of you guys are morning people? In fact, drop a 5 in the chat if you're a morning person. Drop an 8 in the chat if you're a night person or like an evening person. This is why I'm telling you this. I believe there's only one 7 o'clock in the day, and that's 7 p.m. 7 a.m. and me don't go well. If I'm on the only time I wake up early is because I have to go on a flight, and I hate it. I feel sick in the car going there. My body just doesn't wake up. All right. Lots of different people, 5-8. And also what I've never understood, I understand make your bed. Right, like the first task you should complete in the morning is make your bed. Wake up, make your bed. Don't leave your bedroom like a I don't know, a drug den. Okay, but I've never really related to the whole morning routine thing, because I'm not productive in the morning. I'm horrendous in the morning. I'm a nightmare in the morning. I'm not grumpy. I don't want to wake up and go to work straight away. But when everyone's sleeping, I'm working my ass off. Again, I was doing a team call till 1 o'clock in the morning when there are some people that sleep at 10 p.m. So and it's very important to understand this, because most people, the reason why they say the morning routine is important is because most people then, when they are energetic in the evening, don't do the energetic stuff. So they just chill out and watch Netflix when they've got all their energy, because that's what most people do in the evenings. So there's something known as chronotypes. Does anyone know what their chronotype is? You're all different. Yeah, exactly. So, question. To you guys, drop a 1 in the chat if you wake up naturally before 6 a.m. full of energy. 1 in the chat if you wake up naturally before 6:30 a.m. If you wake up naturally before 6:30 a.m. full of energy, you are a lion. That's your chronotype. Okay. Number 2, who feels best starting around like 8 a.m. till 9 a.m. and needs a solid night's sleep? So starting like 8 till 9 and you need a solid night's sleep. Drop a 2 in the chat, because you are bears. Who feels their creative spark only after 3 p.m.? So after 3 p.m., you now start to be like, okay, let's go. Drop a 3 in the chat. Those are the wolves. Oh! Shout out to my wolves. And then you're a 4 if you struggle to sleep deeply or stay awake. Or stay asleep. So like you struggle to sleep deeply or you struggle to stay asleep. Like you're very disruptive. That means you're a dolphin. That's usually 10% of people. All right. I'm a 3. So I get creative after 3 p.m. Like, I'm an evening person. Now, yeah, I could start at 8 till 9, but like, not always. But like, I'm a wolf. Okay? So 4, 4, 3, 1, 1, 3. So it's super important. Here's what I would do if I was you. Track your energy. Most people don't do this when it comes to productivity. Track your energy, not just your hours. So from Monday, here's what I want you to do. This is such a good exercise to do if you really understand it. Whoops. Oh, I've run out. Wow. I never knew you could only do 20 pages. Oh, wow. All right, we've crushed it today. Go on. Come on, team. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to get like a diary or a calendar, and every like hour or so, I want you to track your energy, low energy, mid energy, high energy, right? If you can, try and eat the same foods at the same time for a week. Same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner. I know, you're thinking, no, I'm not doing that. Well then, okay, don't be productive then. Don't be a high performer. Don't make a change, and then you won't get a change. So try and have your yogurt in the morning, your chicken and rice in the afternoon, and your pasta and salmon in the evening. Every night for a week. It's only a freaking week. 1 week could help change your life dramatically. And then every hour from when you wake up, you're going to go, right, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I woke up, low energy. Low energy, low energy, low energy, low energy, low energy, low energy. 9 a.m., mid, high, mid, low, mid. 10 a.m., high, low, high, mid. Right? In the afternoon, high, low, mid, high. And eventually what you're going to do is you're going to establish when the best day and the best times are to build your business. And you'll realize, hang on a minute, I understand now. Because I've been trying to do a high energy activity like recruiting, like following up, like presenting, when I'm in my low energy state. And when you try and do a high energy activity in a low energy state, it sucks. Like when you try and do cardio in the gym when you're absolutely exhausted or hungover. Is this making sense? And that, yeah, the eating thing is why you eat consistently. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to find that, like, oh my God, like your body is not used to eating the same food, so it reacts different to different things you're eating. That's why I eat the same breakfast and the same lunch every single day. The dinner fluctuates from time to time. It's like 2 or 3 dinners a week. And then one evening is usually like, a cheat meal. Not a cheat meal necessarily, but like eating out or whatever, right? Because I know exactly where I know that Fridays are a terrible day for me to do calls because my energy is a little bit lower. So I don't book calls. I haven't booked a call on a Friday for years. I have to do some from time to time because it's the only time I can fit them in. But yeah. So important. All right, number 5, eliminate micro distractions. Stanford did a research, I'm reading this off my notes here. Every switch costs 23 minutes of refocus time. Be honest, drop a 0 in the chat if you love a tab on your desktop. You love a tab, or you're speaking, this is a funny one. You're speaking to one person on 2 apps at the same time. You're speaking to them on WhatsApp and you're speaking to them on Instagram. It's like, what the heck is going on? Or you're watching this training right now and you're scrolling on Instagram. Got ya, right? You're watching this and you're WhatsApping at the same time. Isn't that crazy? Every switch, again, from one app to the other, from one tab to the other, it costs 23 minutes of refocus time. So again, one thing I've got on my phone is I have the, see this thing? The do not disturb. Oh, there you go. How am I going to do that? Do not disturb. So when do not disturb's on, I get no notification. There's 0 notifications. See that? Everything's clean. If I turn it off, all hell's going to break loose. Right? All hell is going to break loose. Okay? So turn off, keep one browser window open. By the way, go on to texts.com. If you like, do you want me to show you? I'll show you some of my favorite apps. See if this is going to work. It's called Beeper now. So Beeper, look at this. You can have all of your texts in one place. So you can have all your look at that. You can have all your iMessage, WhatsApp, Telegram, Messenger, Instagram, Slack, Twitter. You can have all of them all in one window. So instead of you going from one to the other, you're just going to have them all here. So you select Facebook, Instagram, boom, 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 boom. So you see them all here. How cool is that? I haven't used it for a while, to be fair, because I just got really good at managing my inbox and stuff. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay, I've got a few more that I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later as well. Let me just check my battery here. Oh, wow, that's a problem. Okay, number 6, stack habits with triggers. Yeah, it's called Beeper. Stack habits with triggers. Routines reduce resistance, okay? So link like a habit to an existing one. Meaning like after you drink your morning coffee, you plan, or whilst you're drinking your morning coffee, you plan your 3 priorities. Or whilst you're brushing your teeth in the morning, you're putting a sticky note on the window and you're writing with a Sharpie the 3 things that you're going to do the next day. Or thought process. So then every time, yeah, it's good, right? So then every time you're having a coffee, you set your 3 priorities of the day, let's say, and then every time you're brushing your teeth, you're reflecting on what those things are. Whatever you might want to do it, right? Whatever you want to do, okay? But again, it's stacking habits. Yeah, you can also do it environmentally as well. So you sit on the same chair. You have the same playlist, so you're not spending hours and hours and hours every single week having to plan, having to prepare. That's why like someone like Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs always seem to wear the same clothes all the time. Now, I'm sure they're from like Laura Piano or like Zegna or, you know, a fashion house that's very good quality, like Perfect Cashmere, or I don't know, the hair of a llama from Peru, Vicuna, I think it's called, Vicuna, I'm sure. But anyway. Number 7, batch similar tasks. Follow-up Friday, absolutely legendary. I cannot express to you how much of a game changer that was. So much so that I did, so miss number 5, did I? Eliminate micro distractions. No, turn off all notifications. All right, guys, wait here, because I think something's happened to my... Okay, give me 2 seconds. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, no, emergency. You can hear me. Wow. Okay, we're back. Wow, that was wild.
Nepredávajte svoju nehnuteľnosť, kým neurobíte 5 krokov.